Get the dance on.
I know, right? Oh, dancing coming on. Women of wisdom. Got the dancing ladies here. And my question to you is, where do you love from? Do you love from a place of abundance? Do you love from a place of fear? Either way, no judgment. Trust me, we have all been there and loved from too many places. And I'm so excited because today, for our Wise Women Wednesday feature, we have the one, the only Rosita Perez. Woo! And the crowd goes wild.
Yes, thank you so much for having me here. I love this topic. I think it's so incredibly important for women to really connect with what this is about and then reconnect with who they are.
Oh, yes. And what we're going to be talking about today, Women of Wisdom, is how we can really love from a place of overflow. And Rosita is the queen of being able to be in that place of abundance and then share that overflow with us. And make sure you watch the whole thing because if you don't know what a picker is, you're going to find out today. So, Rosita, when it comes to love, and loving from a place of overflow specifically, it can be really hard. We as women aren't really taught abundance and love. We're taught to wait for the Prince Charming, And how did you kind of get into this field of love, of overflow, and everything in between?
Um, my heartbreak, honestly.
Yeah.
I was tired of being tired. I wanted to be seen, accepted for who I am. And that's how I got into it, the short of it.
Yeah. And ladies, drop a not alone in the comments if you've ever gone through heartbreak. And Rosita, thank you for speaking to that because I think sometimes we all know that we all go through heartbreak. It's part of the experience, especially as women. But you talking about you wanted to feel seen, you were tired. I think those are the deeper levels of heartbreak that we don't always talk about.
We
That
never
feeling,
talk about that.
right? Like that feeling of just being exhausted. And question, and I'd love to hear your insight on this. I know what it's like to love from a place of scarcity, from place of lack of fear versus a place of love and overflow. And what would you say are some of the big differences in loving from those two different places?
Ooh, I'm going to use an example of one of those water fountains,
Yeah.
right? The water comes in and goes through its thing and then comes down this beautiful stream of water. And then it goes back out. It's recycled, right? It has to be filled with, there has to be a place full of water to continually recycle. It's similar with loving from a place of overflow. So visualize that.
Yeah.
But if you're not feeding yourself and loving yourself, you're not going to have that water come down in that beautiful stream. It's going to be dry, ladies.
Mhm.
It is going to be dry.
I can't tell you how many times I have felt dry. Um, and I'm thinking too about just in my life, how for most of my life I really loved from a place of scarcity, from that place of dryness. I didn't grow up seeing that love from overflow. And the big difference for me is that feeling of safety, of not just the rich water and juiciness of that flow, but the dryness doesn't feel safe. We don't know, are we going to die of dehydration? And I think for me and for a lot of the women, when they're loving from that place of fear, it leads to unhealthy attachment styles, codependency, anxious attachment, jealousy, because we're so scared. We're scared of being abandoned or being alone that we overgive ourselves. Maybe we don't use our voice, or we catastrophize, we create scenarios in our head, or we attract partners who are like, ooh, she's dry.
Yeah,
She'll
and
take,
unknowingly.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Because we're dry and we're just looking for that taste of water. And so sometimes we tend to attract those partners who are like, here's a little sprinkle of water, and now I'm gonna run away for a little bit.
Yeah,
Or I'm
and that's where the whole picker thing comes in.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay, so before we talk about how to love from a place of overflow, because I know you got some three powerful steps for us, or some keys, or maybe you've got three, maybe you've got two or 100, who knows? The mystery continues. But let's talk about this picker stuff. Because before we can love from a place of overflow, we should probably know what a picker is, right?
Yeah, so for decades, I operated from a place of giving love from really, um, oh my gosh, I just lost the word, performance.
Yeah.
And, and women are so used to trying to look the best that we're supposed to, how every other woman looks. So there's always that fear that we got to be enough. We're already enough. That's the whole thing. We are already enough and perfect. So for decades, I kept running on this kind of dry love. And then what happened is I had to leave my 20-year marriage and realize, wow, I didn't even love me. I was picking a partner from a dry place. In doing all this, pointing that it was his problem, he's the problem. When I started having the courage to do my own work,
Mm.
I realized, oh wow, this, and this. So my having a broken picker meant I pick from a place of brokenness.
Oh,
I
like,
picked my mates, my husband, my whoever I was going to be in romantic relationship with, from a place of deficiency, from a place of brokenness.
ladies, drop not alone in the comments if you can relate to that. And I think that's such a powerful tool, to be aware of what is fueling your picker. Is it you, or is it, you know, deficiency? And, you know, last question around this picker. What happened when you were able to fuel that picker from that place of love for yourself, from that place of self-worth? Because I get it, women being confident in who they are, that doesn't fit the agenda of the world around us. The smaller women are, the easier it is for the world to stay in the state of chaos that it is.
Hmm.
And so, when you're able to get to that place of self-worth, self-love, radical self-acceptance, how different does your picker look now?
Well, my picker right now is pointed towards me.
Mm.
So I've spent over the years picking me. What do I like? Going through self-discovery and understanding who I am all over again, healing those childhood wounds. You got to do your work. There's no fairy dust to this. It's, you got to do the work. So therapy, for me, I found my higher power, my faith. Really, I integrated my faith with practical tools. And so I began to really see that I love me. And I couldn't get that in my own being because I had, over the years, over the decades, right, from childhood, there's this expectation that I don't measure up, that I XYZ.
Yeah.
So I needed a higher power to help me understand that I am a masterpiece, you know,
Yeah, you are.
but I finally accepted it. You could say it from here all day long until you receive and accept yourself in your heart. Your picker is always going to be broken. You're not going to be able to connect to your self-worth. You will keep yourself on the bargain rack instead of being behind the glass where all the expensive, priceless things are.
I love that metaphor. And I just want to emphasize the power of having your picker be directed at you. When you can pick yourself, as uncomfortable and scary as it is, that's really when you're able to love from that place of overflow. And so tell me a little bit more about loving from that place of overflow, Rosita, that crucial thing, of just having that picker directed at you, at that masterpiece that is sense of self, whatever it takes, no fairy dust, ladies, I'm so sorry, but also it's a beautiful journey. You want to be able to enjoy the journey that you're on because it's so unique to you. And even though it might not have fairy dust, you will see so many magical things along that path that
Oh,
you're on.
absolutely, absolutely. So let me give you just 3 keys. I'm going
Yeah,
to
all right.
keep it super simple. So number 1 is get to know and like who you are. And you're not going to be able to find out who you are unless you spend some time with you. And ladies, if you can't spend time with you, you can't be alone with you, then why do we expect a helpmate or a boyfriend or husband to be able to spend time with us? So spend some time learning who you are, what you like, what you don't like, what are your boundaries?
Yeah. Quick question, Rosita. What do you like about yourself?
I love that I can laugh at anything and have a joyful spirit, regardless of the stuff. And I say stuff because right. I love that about me. I love that I can be okay with that happened. That hurt.
Mm. Ooh,
I make light of it after I've healed, right?
yeah.
Or even during the process. So I love that about me. What do
Mm.
you
Oh, I love that I can talk about really deep things in a way that feels light and safe. I love that gift, and it's something that I didn't think I could really step into. My sensitivity, I think that sensitivity has given me a superpower of depth. And so
Mm,
that's what I really love about myself, you know. And so I'm so honored that we get to be here modeling that, because I imagine for some women where it's like, what do I like about myself? Oh gosh, that programming of vain, don't talk about yourself. So thank you for stepping into that answer with me to model and have that ripple effect in the community.
yeah.
So first one, ladies, what do you like about yourself? And learn to like yourself. Spend that time with yourself. Get curious. What's the second key?
Second key is be in a healthy and loving relationship with yourself.
I knew it was going to be with yourself, but just your emphasis. With who, ladies? Write the answer in the comments.
Yeah. And with the higher power.
Yeah.
Me, it was, God and Jesus, and that brought me out of, I mean, I tried everything, the drunken, the drinking, the drugging, the tarot cards, everything you could imagine, and nothing broke through. And I'm talking decades.
Yeah. And I'm with you. Before I met my husband, I just remember being like, I will die before I abandon myself ever again. And so, ladies, connect to what that higher power is for you. Maybe it's God, maybe it's religion, maybe it's spirituality, maybe it's just the higher self of you. Maybe it is a beautiful tree that's in your backyard that you just go and you talk to and you share stuff with. For me, when I was going through my journey, I was a little resentful towards faith. I was like, how could this happen over and over again? So when I stepped into my higher power, and it has since evolved, now I'm very deep in like the spirituality aspect. But for me, I was like, you know what? There's this forest, there's this tree, and I really like it. So I'm just going to go talk to this tree, and I'm going to allow myself to feel the roots of this tree and know that it's connecting to me, remembering that I'm bigger than myself. And so find that higher power, ladies. Find that container that is beyond you, that is equally a part of you.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm.
And the bigger thing is get ready to move out the old woman, because the new one is moving in, and the new one being a healthier you, one that can set boundaries for yourself that are specific to you, not what everybody else thinks you should do.
Yeah, that was definitely the hardest one for me until it wasn't, until I hit that point of like, somebody's got to get out. That that's the reality, you know.
Yeah. And the third one is focus on you alone, not getting into another relationship. Period.
And I imagine once you're able to do those three things, that then you're really able to have this sustainable overflow of love, the sustainable overflow of self-worth. So that way your picker isn't broken, it's aligned. And what happens when you love from that place of overflow, Rosita? What are some of the benefits?
For me, what happened was that I was okay with myself. I gave myself grace. And a
Mm,
lot of times I laughed at myself because I'm like, oh, wow, yeah, maybe that wasn't the best thing to do. And it's
yeah.
okay because we're still human. We're never, ever, ever going to be perfect. But one exercise that I did for a long time that was hard for me to do, like decades afterwards, I could do it today, but being able to look in the mirror and look at myself in the eye and say, I love you. I couldn't say that to myself for a very long time.
Yeah.
So and it's like I don't have to be with somebody to be counted in society. I'm going to put it like that.
Yeah.
I would rather be by myself than to be with somebody who is going to have abusive behaviors, unhealthy behaviors. And I'm more aware
Yeah.
of what I'm looking for. So I don't have to settle with the okey doke.
No, you're a masterpiece. You're behind the glass. You're behind the glass, Rosita. And so is everyone watching this, and Rosita, thank you so much. I know these interviews are meant to be short, powerful, and poignant. And I know we got a later start, and I feel like I could just talk to you for hours. And I know that, you truly have my heart, Rosita. Thank you for coming in and for sharing, for introducing many of us to picker. If it's your first time hearing picker, drop the word picker in the comments. So thank you for so many golden nuggets of wisdom, for sharing your experience, and for really allowing women the invitation to come home to themselves.
Yes, that's absolutely right. Thank you so much for having me. This was
Oh,
so good. I just get so filled being
yes.
able to share all this.
And for those of you who are like, oh my gosh, who is this Rosita? I need more of her. I get it. Rosita has a website, and so I'll be putting a link to that in the comments. But Rosita, she's multifaceted. This woman also has a podcast, and you can find the link to that in the description of this live. And before we go, Rosita, do you want to talk a little bit about your podcast and what women can expect when they go over there and follow you? Because I'm definitely a follower, so I love watching your realness come through in so many heavy topics.
Yeah, so I am actually a self-discovery coach and a realtor. So I help people find their way home, whether it's a physical home or the home in them. I primarily work with women who want to discover who they are again. So my podcast is Women, A Woman's Strength, Empowering Stories from Struggle to Triumph. It's half an hour every second and fourth Friday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific. And you can also go to my YouTube channel to watch the other recordings. And Des is on there. I think we did too, right?
I think so. I have no idea. I feel like I just love talking to you, but I know that you've definitely done one.
Yeah. And so it's YouTube at Moving Forward for Life Coach Realtor. Hope to
And
see you there. And my website is movingforwardforlife.com. I love you, Des. I see how women can get so fed by you just because of you were saying earlier, your lightness. You put language to that, where it's serious, the pain that women go through, but your coaching just absolutely provides a safe place for them to be able to release that pain and move forward.
thank you so much, Rosita. I receive it with such an open heart of gratefulness and love. And Women of Wisdom, this was part of our Wise Women Wednesday feature. Rosita has actually been with us before for our May Momentum Mental Health series. So if you want to catch her in the group, you can just search her name. And if you want more of these interviews, you can find them all under hashtag Wise Women Wednesday. So ladies, thank you so much for joining us. We will be here again next week. And don't forget to join me tomorrow at 9 a.m. for our Thursday Tickles, a time where I tickle you with information for your personal expansion. Why? So you can have more power and choice in navigating all of life's challenges and adventures. Tomorrow's tickle topic, imposter syndrome, 3
Ooh.
ways to overcome it.
Oh, wow. I'm going to be at that one.
Right, I'll see you there, Rosita. And ladies, Rosita, before we sign off, this is my fun thing that I like to do. We're just going to high five off. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Ooh, that was good. That felt nice. Thank you so much, Rosita. Thank you, Women of Wisdom. I will see you tomorrow.
Bye.